Special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5. Those of you viewing GBN TV, whether you're viewing Channel 7, Channel 11, Channels 20, good morning to you. Welcome. It's To The Point. I'm your host, GT. Good morning to those of you via social media platforms, whether it's a Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning and welcome. Once again, you know, it's Thursday and usually we host a different department within the RGPF. We have a department that we're going to be having a conversation with this morning is the anti-money laundering. All right, but it's not closely entailed within the RGPF, but it's part of it, to a point. Am I right about that, saying that? Is it all incorporated or just...
No.
Not incorporated, but it's somewhere in between there.
Yes.
All right, let's leave it like that. Let me say good morning to my guests this morning. We have, of course, I hope I'm getting them in the right order. I have Miss Shonnell Patterson with us this morning and also Miss Alison Mongo-Lewis. Good morning. And they are both, of course, affiliated with the Anti-Money Laundering, of course, Commission. That's the proper way I should have mentioned it. Good morning to you, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
Well, you're certainly welcome. I always feel settled in the company of ladies, so you know it's always a settled way. Welcome. Let's get the conversation rolling this morning. The Anti-Money Laundering Commission. Who's going to, of course, just give me a brief synopsis of what that particular commission is all about in just a brief way before we get all into depth of the conversation this morning.
Okay, sure. But before we move on, we'd like to introduce ourselves to the public so that they would know.
No problem. I thought that I gave the names as a part of the part of the introduction.
We want to give a little background so that they can know our years of experience being in the commission.
Sure.
So this morning we have Miss Patterson.
Pleasant good morning, everyone, to all the listeners. My name is Shonnell Patterson, and I have been employed with the government of Grenada for the past 13 years, and has been with the commission for the past 2 years.
Okay.
And my role in that department as an AML CFT examiner is to supervise and monitor compliance within the anti-money laundering and combating financing terrorism laws and regulations.
Okay.
And I am Miss Alison Mongo, and I have been with the government for the past 16 years and with the AML Commission for the past 6 years. And I also played a role where we supervise and monitor compliance with AML and CFT regarding the laws and regulations.
Okay, great. Now that we have gotten that introduction part of it out of the way, let's talk a wee bit about the Anti-Money Laundering Commission.
Right.
Tell me a wee bit about the commission in a brief way of saying about it.
Well, so let me give you a bit of a history on the commission.
Yeah.
So the Office of the Anti-Money Laundering Commission was established under Part 9, Section 63 of the Proceeds of Crime Act, number 6 of 2012. Now, this is when the Administrative Office of the Commission was formally established on April 1st of 2019 as the operational arm of Grenada's AML, which is the anti-money laundering, combating financing of terrorism, and combating proliferation financing. Abbreviation would be AML CFT CPF regime.
Okay.
The office plays a central role in the implementation and oversight of Grenada's AML CFT framework and serves as the leading authority behind the enactment and enforcement of the Proceeds of Crime legislation, which aligns with the Financial Action Task Force, also known as the FATF, 40 recommendation. Now, the FATF sets international standards aimed at protecting the global financial system for criminal abuse and is internationally recognized for combating money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation. At the Commission, the operations of the Commission is guided by 5 principal acts.
Okay.
We have the Proceeds of Crime Act, number 6 of 2012, followed by its amendments. We have the Proceeds of Crime Anti-Money Laundering Terrorist Financing Regulations,
okay,
SRO 5 of 2012, and its amendments, and the Anti-Money Laundering Terrorist Financing Guidelines, SRO 6 of 2012, and its amendments, followed by the Terrorism Act, number 16 of 2012, and the Financial Intelligence Unit Act, number 14 of 2012. all these acts are accompanied by their amendments. Now, the mission of the AML Commission is to ensure a safe and clean financial system with good governance for the advancement of business opportunities. And our vision is to be effective in the combating of money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation. Now, the public might hear us using these terms where we say ML, which refers to money laundering. Now, money laundering is the process of making illegally obtained proceeds, such as dirty money, appear legitimate or clean. And then we also use the term TF, which speaks to terrorist financing. Terrorist financing is when money or resources are given to terrorists or terrorist groups to support their harmful activities, like planning attacks, for example, planning attacks on countries, planning attacks on the government.
I guess they need some financial support to get that taken care of. Okay.
Now, these money come from various sources, including donations or also criminal activities. Now, the last term, PF, which speaks to proliferation financing. Proliferation financing involves providing funds or support to individuals or groups involved in the reproduction or making of weapons of mass destructions like nuclear, biological or chemical weapons.
Okay.
So the anti-money laundering is governed by a board of 9 members, all of whom are heads of ministries, departments, competent authorities directly involved in the combating of money laundering and terrorist financing. Our commission is headed by an executive director, Mr. Senator Joseph, who oversees all the operational functions of the AML Commission. Presently, we are no longer located at the National Stadium. That's where most of the regulated entities know us to be. We have recently relocated our office to the Grenville Street. We have recently relocated to Grenville Street, St. George's. That's where the GUT Credit Union building, the loans department used to be. The building with the car park.
CID one time.
I'm not aware of it being CID, but that's the part where loans used to be processed. The part that has the car park attached to it. You know, there's two buildings. So not the one where the ATM was. The one on the other side.
Understand. Okay.
So this is where we remain committed to serving the public and regulating entities from our new location, ensuring they continue effective implementation and enforcement of the AML CFT measures.
Okay, great. If I'm to ask a question from all the, of course, you have just mentioned a while ago, pick up the importance of this particular commission, if I ask this question.
Well, the functions that we carry, Miss Patterson, I'll let you take that one.
Yes. So the functions that the AML Commission carries, the AML Commission is a regulatory supervisory body responsible for AML policies within Grenada. And some of our functions are to advise the minister in relation to detection and prevention of money laundering and terrorist financing in Grenada. We issue guidance from time to time as to compliance and relating to money laundering and terrorist financing to the regulated entities. And later on we'll tell you what we mean by regulated entities.
Sure, that's it.
So we also conduct AML CFT examination and supervision both on-site and off-site to all of the regulated entities that is registered with the AML Commission.
When you say a regulated entity, just briefly explain that for me.
So a regulated entity, as stated in our law, it is basically a relevant person carrying on relevant businesses.
Understand.
Yes. Okay. So we also conduct AML examination and supervision on both off-site and on-site to regulated entities registered with the AML Commission, and this is to ensure compliance with our applicable laws and regulations and guidelines aimed at preventing money laundering, terrorist financing, and so forth.
It's like saying what you're doing is not what you're doing. Basically,
yes.
If you register with the commission and you say whatever business that you are involved in, is that what you are involved in?
That's correct.
Let's say you are you are non-finance. Let's say non-for-profit then. Probably business you say it's non-profit.
Yes.
You have to make sure whatever you're doing is for a non-profit basis.
That's correct.
I get that. I understand what you said.
So we also monitor compliance to ensure Grenada stays safe and resilient against money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing, we conduct public education and awareness training on AML matters. So the Office of the Commission provides training and outreach to educate the public and the key sectors on money laundering risk, legal obligations, and the importance of compliance. Now that would help them to build a national culture of the AML awareness and support international standard. We also do on a daily basis. As I said before, we are a regulated entity, so we register regulated entities, and that is in accordance to the Proceeds of Crime Amendment Act 7 of 2018.
Okay, great. We due for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, we continue with our discussion. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point, Classic Radio GBN TV. We're going to be right back after the short break. Don't touch.
Climate change.
The Mass officially starts now as Spice Mass Cooperation together with Aura Caribbean is turning up the thing all the way up with Carnival City Fusion Thursdays. It all kicks off on Thursday, May 29th and continues every Thursday into June. We're bringing the vibes to the Port Louis Lawn. Gates open 7 p.m. Action starts 8 p.m. Get ready for live performances from your favorite soca, groovy, and calypso artists, plus the sweet sounds of steel band, live bands, and all the mass elements you love. Veko, Jab Jab, Shortney, Mokojumbi, Apache, and more. It's more than a line. It's a whole carnival experience. So grab your crew, bring the energy, and come let's celebrate where culture meets pure excitement. Carnival City Fusion Thursdays, Port Louis Lawn, beginning May 29th and continues every Thursday into June. Come, let's play a mass, cause the thing starts. Grenada, it's time to give praise while having fun and extraordinary family time. As PAWI, P-A-W-I, Grenada District presents Sports and Family Fun Day, Saturday, May 31st, 2025. Lasajas Playing Field in St. David. It's going to be an exciting day filled with athletics, cricket, football, dominoes, cards, draft, and many more. There's always amazing deals. Flea market will be available together with a variety of eats and drinks on sale. Activity starts at 10 a.m., 10 in the morning and goes until 6 p.m. Come out and be part of this wonderful day of fellowship as PAWI, Grenada District Sports and Family Fun Day. Saturday, 31st May. Don't miss out.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point, Classic Radio GBN TV. With me this morning, we have the Anti-Money Laundering Commission with us this morning, or the AML-CFT. And we're talking this morning, of course, to share that information out this morning, getting people to understand about the commission a whole lot, its functions, and what it really does. My next question that I'm being thrown out to you this morning. I'm assuming there are businesses or entities out there who are listening to this program this morning,
yes,
and they're saying, I understand what these lovely ladies are speaking about. How can they get registered? What's the process for registration to be this morning? How can that company or individuals who have that particular business that they want to get registered with to get into the whole compliance part of it?
Right. So, in order for someone to register with the AML Commission, the registration process, they must obtain a registration form.
Okay.
And on that form, they need to complete all the relevant sections that applies. So before I move forward, I would just like to notify the public that our official website is currently down, because before the entity didn't have to come into the office. They could have accessed the registration form from online. So our website is down, undergoing some updates. And we are also in the process of implementing a new database system, which is soon to be rolled out, where the entities, and it would be introduced to all the regulated entities, all the entities that we regulate. But we would carry out a training with the entities to walk them through the process on how the database management system needs to operate and what part they play, right? This system would be to upgrade in aiming to improve our service or delivery service and streamlining compliance processes. So in the meanwhile, we are asking the entities to come in to our office on Grenfell Street, or they can reach out to us via telephone on 444-3828. Also, they can send us an email on info@aml.gov.gd. So once they come into the office, we would guide them through the process.
All right. I just want to ask one question within this, just to get a point. I'm sure someone is trying to figure this out as much as I am. You said various entities. Who are these entities that are responsible for registering with the Anti-Money Laundering Commission? Who are these entities?
So presently we have 14 regulated entities under different sections.
All right.
And Section 2 of the Proceeds of Crime Act, AML-TFT Regulation, SRO 5 of 2012, lists the following regulated entities. So we have banks, we have credit unions, we have insurance companies and brokers and agents, we have the money service businesses, we have microfinance, we have non-profit organizations, we have the real estates, we have dealers in precious stones and metal, and that's the who provide sales of jewelry, so who sell jewelry, so like the jewelry stores. Yeah. We have the gaming type business. We also have car dealers, and that's who sell new or used vehicles. And we have the DNFBPs, and that means the designated non-financial businesses and professions. And under that category, we have the lawyers, we have law firms, we have notaries, we have the CBI agents, we have accountants, we have accounting firms.
Okay, so those are the folks who should be registering with the of course, the anti-commission.
That's correct.
Good. You will continue.
Right. So in the registration process, along with the registration form, the entities have to also submit supporting documents.
Okay.
Right. So these supporting documents, normally we have a customized checklist that is provided to each sector to guide the entities on the specific documents that is needed to be submitted to the commission. This ensures that all registration requirements are met based on the nature of the business or the profession. Now, some of these documents would be the business registration certificate, a copy of the article of incorporation or statement of particulars, a copy of 2 forms of identification, must include your bio. One of the IDs must be the bio data page and any other photo ID. These IDs must be provided for the compliance officer of the entity, the directors, the beneficial owners, and along with these IDs, we also request a list with the email and contact numbers for all these people. Now, the Commission has recently implemented one new requirement added, which is police record. Okay. Now, the requirement of the police record was also requested based on FATF 40 recommendations. Now, as I stated earlier, the Commission, we also are guided by the 40 recommendations, FATF 40 recommendations. So, based on what the requirements was made from the 40 recommendations, the Commission had to add on police record as one of the supporting documents to be submitted for the compliance officer, the directors, and all the beneficial owners of the entity. Now, once all of this has been completed, the entity has to register at the government treasury. Now, keeping in mind that the entities fall under different sectors, so the fees vary depending on the sector that the entity fall under. Once all this is completed, the treasury receipt is attached to the supporting documents and the completed registration form, which can either be brought in to our office or the entity can scan and email all the relevant information to the Commission. And I would state the email address again. You can email all your supporting documents to info@aml.gov.gd. The registration process takes approximately 30 days.
Okay.
This is because sometimes the compliance officer or the director or the beneficial owners are non-nationals.
Okay.
Now, in a case like this, we would need to carry out our due diligence.
I was just going to ask if some of course,
Yes.
some investigation into the
Yes,
the
we must
entities needed.
do our due diligence, and this normally takes a while.
Okay.
So once the due diligence process is completed, then the AML certificate is issued once all the required documents has been submitted.
Okay.
Now, once this is done, the entity would receive an AML CFT registration certificate. Now, the certificate, the AML registration certificate, is valid for 12 months, a 12-month period. We are asking and urging the entities to please pay attention to their expiration date, right? In order to remain in good standing with the Commission, all the entities need to ensure compliance with the regulatory obligations. All registered entities are required to renew within the time frame that they were granted the original registration certificate. Now, our renewal process is slightly different to the registration process.
Okay.
Because you have already registered with us, the requirements for the renewal process is simpler.
Okay.
And it's also a different form that is used. So the registration process, you submit everything so that we have an idea what the nature of the business is about and all who's involved in that business or the entity.
Okay.
The renewal process now, once there is no change, if there is a change within the entity is to put in writing within 14 days of that change to inform the Commission, look, we had a change in compliance officer, or a change in director or beneficial owner.
Okay.
Now, this is quoted in the law, and there's a penalty for not doing this, right? So when you're renewing, if there's any change, you will follow the original renewal form, and you will just click at the top where it has registration or renewal. So we would know, okay, this is a renewal, but they're filling out this form because there's changes in the entity. If there is no changes, then they would fill out the renewal form where they just list the information as the entity name, the certificate, the original certificate number that was given from the prior certificate, and maybe they can attach the IDs. If the IDs that we have on file is expired, we would notify them, so they will send in an updated copy, and they attach that with a treasury receipt and they provide it to the Commission. And once that is done, we pass it on to the relevant supervisor. Once it's okay for processing, we process. Therefore, we wouldn't have to do a due diligence process again because there has been no change.
In terms of what they submitted.
Yes.
Entity. Okay.
So then that when that process is completed now, the renewal process is much shorter.
Okay.
So once they apply within the time frame given, they would receive their certificate upon expiration of that date.
Okay, and that's a 12-month process.
That is a 12 months.
Once you have registered before,
it's
you make sure
annual,
every year. You do that annually. You take care of that. Now, the benefits that can derive for a particular entity, of course, registered with the Commission. Tell us about that. What are these benefits?
Yes, so we want entities out there to know that when you register, you just don't register with the AML Commission. They have benefits. And in registering with the AML Commission, it helps protect your business from being used in anti-money laundering activities, terrorist financing, and other illegal activities. Now, it improves also their reputation because by showing the following rules and operate ethically, which builds trust in your clients and your partners both locally and internationally. Registration also keeps the business in line with Grenada's AML CFT laws, and it helps them to avoid legal problems. When you register with the AML Commission, also the registered entities would also gain access to our AML CFT trainings and guidance provided by the Commission, and that is to help them stay informed, strengthen the internal controls, better detect and prevent financial crime. So that's some of the benefits that we offer.
All right, good. We due for a second break in the program this morning. Let's take that break. When we come back, we certainly have much more to discuss. Stay with us, folks. To the point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back after.
All around the world.
Project Music presents Rhythms of Spice. Sunday, June 1st, 3 p.m., Comahan Park. Featuring student performances Alpha One, Cool Jazz Band, Co-op Band Comancheros, Lion Pride Percussions. Project Music with Tira Etienne, Shireen Brizan, Jeremy Hector, Javon Andrew, and Sonika McKee. With special guest, Bo Hickson from St. Lucia. Get your tickets $60 on sale at Grenadian Optical, Art and Soul, Gittins Pharmacy, Grenville, and Koto Fed. More at the door. Children 12 and under free. Rhythms of Spice, Sunday, June 1st, 3 p.m., Comahan Park. Sponsors Co-op Bank, Renwick & Thompson, Hubbard's, Fire and Foods, Inter-Caribbean, True Blueberry Resort, Acado Grenada, Gabriel's Rentals, Andrews Construction, Supreme Sounds, DJ Danny, GBN, Boss FM, and Real FM. Absolutely no vending.
Yes, Grenada, it's what we've been waiting on. The countdown to the Maggie King of the Grill. It's back at his legendary home, Montrouge Playing Field. Grand Dance on Saturday, June the 7th. The flames return with grill masters battling for glory. All the action starts at 12 noon. Get ready. From 6 p.m. we go stateside for live entertainment by the Caress Band. It's food, fun, and fire for the whole family. Talking about kids' attraction, we got you covered. Bouncy castles, games, plenty of fun for the little ones while we indulge in the smoky goodness. Don't miss the vibe, the flavor, the fierce competition. King of the Grill 2025 is back and better than ever. Brought to you by Maggie, the secret of great flavor. Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Class Code, Grenada's #1 rum. Grenada Paper Products, classic Lighting Caribbean, budget foods with quality and affordability. Call home. Sandals Resort, Glenel's Spring Water, Blue Bubble Spear Rentals and Event Supplies, Innovation Grenada Limited, Rubis, fueling all grills in competition. It's Maggie, King of the Grill 2025. Be there.
Sporting fans, ready yourselves for the most anticipated Winston-Tide games, June 7th and 8th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come support our athletes as they compete with some of the region's best in the field events and on the tracks. Save the date, June 7th and June 8th, Winston-Tide games at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Stay tuned for more info. Winston-Tide game 2025.
Hi everyone, my name is Alpha Stafford. I'm the Managing Director of Innovation Grenada Limited, and together with Cater Pro, we are partnering with GBN Maggie's King of the Grill for the 2025 King of the Grill taking place on the 7th of June at the Montrouge Playing Field. We're excited to be on board and to be partnering with them. So we're inviting everyone to come out and join us at the Montrouge Playing Field on Saturday the 7th of June. See you there.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Montrouge Playing Field from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay, and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy, and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers once again to The Point for today, Thursday, the 29th day of May, 2025. And welcome back once again to my guests. Let's continue the conversation this morning. Though we shared a lot of information already, of course, folks, just for maybe for the benefit of the listener, the viewer over here, who are probably just tuning in and, of course, want to understand what we do. We're talking, of course, to my guests this morning. They're from the Anti-Money Laundering Commission. And, of course, it's also part of the Ministry of Finance, RGP. Everything is incorporated into this. For some reason, everything is incorporated. And so if you missed out on that, that's we give a lot of information that relates to what the commission is actually about. We spoke of the function of the commission, and of course, a while ago we did, before the break, we were discussing it in length, the registration process, how you could register, the functioning, and so forth, and the benefit that can entail from you registering with the Anti-Money Laundering Commission. Now, there's a business entity out there who, of course, is part of some of the entities that you mentioned who should register and fail to do so. What are the consequences for failure to register with it? If briefly you could describe that.
Okay, sure. So all regulated entities must register.
Yeah.
So we want to stress on the entities out there that is not yet registered. Please come in to register with us. Give us a call, and we'll give our numbers and the email again in the ending of these segments. So all regulated entities, that fails to register with the AML CFT Commission under the Proceeds of Crime Amendment Act 7 of 28, Section 39C, 2018, Section 39C7, commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction of a fine of $5,000 and $300 each day the offense continues.
Okay. So I certainly hope entities who are listening who have failed to register it's like a re-registration process.
That's correct.
More or less the consequence would be if on a re-registration process or not for if somebody didn't do it yet, I guess you can't. You wouldn't be able to of course have any consequence directed to them. But if you have registered and you fail to re-register, that's where they're going to be. That's where that penalties and so forth come forward.
But we don't want the public, we don't want the entities to feel scared by what we're saying here regarding the penalty.
You can always have issue for conversation, right?
Yes. So this is why we're kind of doing these segments to encourage them. We need them to come in and comply with the law. We are urging them to come into the commission and get registered so that their business can also be monitored to make sure that they are in line with the internal controls, all what the law has stated that they need to have implemented within their entities. We would be able to give guidance, any training that they need, we would be able to give them training as well. So we do not want, please, public, we do not want you to be
get all scared.
Yes, there's consequences for every action. Yes. So this is why we're stating what the penalty fees are. But we do not want the penalty fees to scare the entities. We want you all to feel comfortable to come in. Any information that you require from us, feel free to reach out to us. Any one of the examiners will be able to guide you through the process, and anything you need help with, anything you need clarity with, we are here to guide the entities and help give them direction.
All right, great. So certainly hope folks will certainly understand that. Now, there's always that option for businesses out there or persons out there that may still want to understand what the AML is all about. What sort of advice you'd like to give, especially for those who have not registered as yet? I mean, there's still that option you want to give them that preempt to let them know, hey, this is what you need to do, or reasons why you need to register the AML, especially if you have a business of that particular nature where finance is involved or a non-profit is involved, but somehow there's a financial aspect of it. You understand? Even though it's non-profit, there is still a financial aspect of it that takes place. So you need them to register just in order to get the compliance batch rolling and make it easier for you doing business in Grenada, if you would see it in that particular way. If you want to share some advice on that.
Well, if you're a business and organization or a company, we are saying that if you are not registered with the AML Commission, it is critical to take immediate steps to comply. Registration is not only a legal requirement, as I stated, but also an essential safeguard that will protect your entity from being exploited, from money laundering, terrorist financing, and any form or any other illicit activities that may occur.
And also, staying compliant helps you avoid substantial fees and legal consequences, while also enhancing your reputation and your credibility in the market. Do not wait until the penalties and investigation arise. We are urging entities, the regulated entities that fall under the category that we listed previously, to demonstrate commitment to integrity and to contribute the safety and stability of Grenada's financial system.
So what about businesses who may understand what we're talking about, the AML and so forth, and decide, well, I don't think I need to register my business? And yes, there's a financial entity. You could be, as you mentioned, there are lawyers, there are gaming institutions and so forth. Who thinks that I may not need to do this for whatever reason? I think I would take care of the necessary compliance in different ways. What advice would you give them who may be thinking in that particular direction? I don't think I need to do that. There are always individuals who are thinking, why do I need to do this? You understand, for whatever reason. Or maybe they just want me to pay some extra money. So people will think in that particular way. What advice would you show to them, of course, not to think in that particular direction?
I don't think you want me to think. So basically, for regulated entities, it's a mandate.
Yes.
They
you
must.
must do this.
They must.
Yes, it's stated in the law.
It's stated in the law. They must register with the AML Commission. So that's why we are asking the entities again out there to register.
And to also, not just because it's stated in the law, but to also be able to carry out the financial aspect of their business. Because the financial, in order for them to open a bank account or to carry on with their financial aspect of the business, they must present the anti-money laundering certificate to the financial institutions.
If I could ask another question, what's the level of compliance with the AML in Grenada? What's the level of compliance in Grenada? Are we having a good standing or so forth in Grenada in terms of...
So far, we're doing okay. But as I said, the session that we're doing is to kind of, there's a lot of entities out there still that are not registered or that are not complying.
Is it that they don't know about the entity in particular, or just haven't done it for a year?
I think because some of them are maybe not knowledgeable of the law. Maybe that's why they have not done it yet. I don't want to think that they don't know. But we are hoping that these sessions that we're doing will reach all ears of the regulated entities within Grenada. So therefore, those who are not registered as yet will make their way to the commission to register.
Okay, great. So certainly hope we get an increase in the compliance, increase in the registration. Of course, after this program, your lines are probably going to be busy.
Oh yes, we are hoping so.
Your lines are probably going to be busy, because I certainly do understand the reason for this. Money laundering and stuff like that. So we know how businesses can run into problems.
Yes,
you understand.
Yes. And you're not trying to have your entity or your business
being shut down,
faced with reputational risk.
Yes.
That's something again that we're trying to avoid the entities of having to deal with. So this is why we are urging them to to comply with the act and come in and get registered, so you can protect your business. You can be given guidance on how things need to be operating within your entity, and to make sure that everything stays on track.
Okay, great. We're due for a break once again, our final break on the program for today, folks. So stay till we come back. We still have much more to talk about when we come back. Stay with us. To the Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back. Don't touch it out.
Officially starts now as Spice Mass Cooperation together with Aura Caribbean is turning up the thing all the way up with Carnival City Fusion Thursdays. It all kicks off on Thursday, May 29th and continues every Thursday into June. We're bringing the vibes to the Port Louis lawn. Gates open 7 p.m. Action starts 8 p.m. Get ready for live performances from your favorite soca, groovy and calypso artists, plus the sweet sounds of steel band, live bands, and all the mass elements you love. Veko, Jab Jab, Short Knee, Mokojumbi, Apache, and more. It's more than a line. It's a whole carnival experience. So grab your crew, bring the energy, and come let's celebrate where culture meets pure excitement. Carnival City Fusion Thursdays, Port Louis Lawn, beginning May 29th and continues every Thursday into June. Come, let's play a mass, cause the thing starts. Grenada, it's time to give praise while having fun and extraordinary family time. As PAWI, P-A-W-I, Grenada District presents Sports and Family Fun Day, Saturday, May 31st, 2025. Lassages Playing Field in St. David. It's going to be an exciting day filled with athletics, cricket, football, dominoes, cards, draft, and many more. There's always amazing deals. Flea market will be available together with a variety of eats and drinks on sale. Activity starts at 10 a.m., 10 in the morning and goes until 6 p.m. Come out and be part of this wonderful day of fellowship as PAWI, Grenada District Sports and Family Fun Day. Saturday, 31st May. Don't miss out.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Montrouge Plainfield from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited. Makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Once again to our listeners, welcome back viewers. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. And once again, we have the Anti-Money Laundering Commission with us, the ladies representing the Anti-Money Laundering Commission with us this morning. And of course, our final segment of the show is one of those shows where we not be taking any calls and stuff to, of course, for the listeners and viewers over there who may have a question or two to ask, but we may not be entertaining that this morning to the nature of the program. I would like you to re-emphasize a wee bit, especially when it comes to the overall, the details a little bit more. Maybe not the full length of it as we did in the intro, but about what the AML-CF Commission is all about. Maybe there's someone who missed out at the start of this program and may just want to have a clear knowledge of what the AML is all about in reference to the Act and everything else of that nature. If you could just re-emphasize that again for them.
Sure, no problem. So the AML Commission's office is the operational arm. We are a supervisory body who supervises and all regulated entities within Grenada. Our office plays a central aspect. We implement and oversees Grenada's AML-CFT framework. Right? We are the leading authority that is behind the enactment and enforcement of the proceeds of crime legislations. We also work in alignment with the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force 40 recommendations, which sets international standards not just with Grenada but throughout the Caribbean. And we also have 5 principal acts which governs the commission, which we abide by and follow, which speaks to all the rules which an regulated entity is supposed to comply with. At the Commission, I would like to reinforce our mission. Our mission of the Commission is to ensure a safe and clean financial environment with good governance for the advancement of business opportunities. And our vision of the Commission is to be effective in combating money laundering and terrorist financing and proliferation. I would also like to reiterate that our office is now located on Grenville Street, St. George's, at the GUT Credit Union Loans Building. So we are asking the entities who are out there to not register to please come in and get registered so that you can be in compliant with our laws that governs Grenada. Okay. If you are scared to come in, you can reach out to us by email, or if you are in a situation where it's difficult for you to come to our office, you can always feel free to reach out to our office via email on info@aml.gov.gd, or you can reach us by telephone, where we, the examiners, can forward you whatever required information you are requesting of the Commission regarding registration, regarding any guidance, any laws that you may require that you are not aware of and you would like to be guided by. You can reach us on 444-3828.
All right. And Ms. Patterson, maybe you could give us some more information again, or just re-emphasizing the function that are carried out by the AML Commission.
Sure. So the AML, some of the functions are to advise the minister in relation to detections and prevention
of money laundering and terrorist financing in Grenada. We also issue guidance from time to time as to compliance in relating to money laundering, terrorist financing in Grenada. We conduct AML CFT examination and supervision both on-site and off-site for regulated entities registered with the AML Commission, and that is to ensure compliance with our laws and regulations and guidelines of the anti-money laundering and terrorist financing. We monitor compliance to ensure Grenada is safe and resilient against the fight of money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing. We also conduct public awareness and training on AML matters. And as we said, we are a regulated body, so we register regulated entities on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, great. You mentioned monitoring in terms of the function of the particular entities who register with the AML?
Yes, yes.
All right. Great. Anything else folks want to re-emphasize for of course our listeners and viewers this morning that you think that they should pay more attention to that we may not have touched on a bit?
Sure. So I want to emphasize on the regulated entities. Again, a regulated entity is a relevant person carrying on a relevant business. So, and some of the regulated entities that are listed that should register with the AML Commission, we have banks, credit unions, money service businesses, insurance companies, insurance agents, insurance brokers. We have car dealers, the sales of new and used vehicles. We have non-profit organization. We have microfinance. We also have real estate. We have dealers in precious stones, for example, the jewelry stores. And we have the gaming type business. And we have the DNFBPs, designated non-financial businesses and professions. And under that category is the lawyers, the law firms, the CBI agents, the notaries, the accountants, and the accounting firm.
All right.
And also, we want to let the regulated entities know by registering with the Commission, it would give your entity an opportunity to demonstrate that you are committed to preventing and detecting money laundering and terrorist financing within your organization.
All right. Well, I want to, of course, thank you both for coming on the program this morning. It's fruitful information. I certainly hope, of course, the listeners and viewers who are individuals or entities out there who are in some of the that you may have mentioned and who have not yet registered, and will give it serious consideration coming to the commission, and it helps your business in the long run.
Yes.
And that's the important fact, that it helps your business, because in the world today there's always issues where your business get incorporated in something that you may be not even guilty of. You understand? You somehow you're dealing in a particular business, and somehow that particular business is dealing in a legal activity that you may not be aware of.
Yeah.
And because you are associated, for whatever reason you're associated, you get an entrapment there. So being part of this, as you said, the monitoring takes place. You will know what's going on.
Yes.
You will certainly be able to get in contact with that business and let them know what's going on, which is going to be a plus for them in the long run.
Yes.
Anything in closing before we take a wrap this morning?
Well, before we wrap up, we would once again like to reiterate that we are encouraging all regulated entities who are not yet registered with the Commission to please do so as soon as possible.
All right.
Yes, and again, we want to give our contact information. Our telephone number is 444-3828, and our email is info@aml.gov.gd. So please don't hesitate. Contact us. We will be happy to help you.
All right, great. So once again, of course, Ms. Mongo, Lewis, and of course, Ms. Patterson, I want to thank you both for coming on the program this morning. I hope it not be your first or last.
No, we're hoping so. We hope that we do get
an opportunity to come back again, because there's always much more information we could share. Of course, I think we have just touched the surface of this in terms of what information could be shared with individuals of this, because I know there are still lots of questions an individual may have, but they may have to contact you to get the extra information that we certainly do need. And so certainly appreciate you coming in and speaking to us this morning in relation to that. And as I said, I hope your phones get busy for the rest of the day. today, right?
Yeah, we hope so too.
You probably may answer the phone all weekend. So thank you once again, and best wishes for the rest of the day.
Thank you so much again.
Hey folks, that's how we're going to take a wrap for this edition of To The Point for today. Thanks all who are listening, those who are viewing, and those of you via social media platforms. We didn't get an open line session today. Apology for that. But of course, join me again tomorrow for another edition. Until then, folks, have a good one. That's where we say goodbye.